It's May 2000. Financial analyst Harry Markopolos is sitting in his Boston office, staring at a spreadsheet that doesn't make sense. His boss has given him an assignment. Figure out how Bernie Madoff is generating his returns. Madoff runs an investment fund that's the envy of Wall Street, exposed to the same markets. But somehow his fund never loses money. Not in crashes, not in downturns, not ever. Steady gains month after month, year after year. Madoff's clients include billionaires, celebrities, major banks, and charitable foundations. Everyone wants in, and Harry's boss wants to replicate the strategy. So Harry does what Harry does. He pulls the data. He runs the numbers. He tries to reverse engineer Madoff's trading strategy based on the returns. And within 4 hours, he knows it's not possible. The returns Madoff is claiming cannot be generated by the strategy he says he's using. The math doesn't work. It's not even close. Harry double-checks, triple-checks. He pulls in colleagues. They run different models. Same result every time. Bernie Madoff is lying, not exaggerating, not fudging numbers. The entire thing is fabricated. The only way to generate returns this consistent, this smooth, this impossible, is to not actually be trading at all. Harry Markopolos has just discovered the largest financial fraud in human history, a $65 billion Ponzi scheme that will eventually destroy thousands of lives, wipe out life savings, bankrupt charities, and drive people to suicide. And here's the thing that makes this story insane. Harry is going to spend the next 8 years trying to tell someone, anyone, he's going to submit detailed mathematical proof to the Securities and Exchange Commission. 5 separate times, he's going to beg regulators to investigate. He's going to lay out exactly how the fraud works, who's involved, and how to prove it. Nobody will listen. For 8 years, Harry Markopolos will be the only person in America, who knows Bernie Madoff is a fraud, and for 8 years, nobody will believe him. This is the story of the man who was right about everything and was completely ignored. To understand why Harry Markopolos saw what nobody else could see, you need to understand who Harry Markopolos is. He's not a Wall Street insider. He didn't go to Harvard or Wharton. He grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania, the son of Greek immigrants who ran a chain of Arthur Treacher's fish and chips. His family taught him to work hard and trust numbers over people. Harry goes to college, joins the Army Reserve, and eventually lands at a Boston investment firm. His job is quantitative analysis, using math to understand markets. He's good at it, really good. Harry thinks in numbers, sees patterns. He can spot when something doesn't add up. That's exactly what happens in May 2000. His boss, Frank Casey, met with a fund manager who feeds money to Madoff. The returns are incredible. Too incredible. Casey wants Harry to figure out Madoff's methods so they can compete. Harry takes the assignment seriously. He obtains Madoff's reported returns, going back years. He analyzes the strategy Madoff claims to use, a split-strike conversion. Harry knows it well. Madoff's returns don't match. Mathematically impossible. Market crashes, Madoff makes money. Market rallies, Madoff makes money. Market goes sideways, Madoff makes money. Harry runs the numbers obsessively. He calculates Madoff's claimed trades would need to be trading more options than actually exist. Not enough options in existence. It's not a sophisticated fraud, not a clever trick. It's basic math. Harry can't believe nobody else sees it. One guy versus the entire system. Harry's fight is just getting started. By late 2000, Harry Markopolos is certain Bernie Madoff is running a Ponzi scheme. No other explanation fits the data. A Ponzi scheme is beautifully simple. You take money from new investors and use it to pay return to earlier investors. There's no actual investing happening. No trading. No strategy. Just a constant need for new money to pay off old promises. The scheme works until it doesn't. As long as more money flows in, then flows out, everything looks legitimate. But the moment withdrawals exceed deposits, the whole thing collapses. Harry knows this, and he knows that Madoff's scheme is massive. We're not talking about some small-time fraudster taking a few million from gullible retirees. Madoff manages billions. His clients include some of the most sophisticated financial institutions in the world. How is no one seeing this? Harry starts building his case. He creates a document laying out his analysis. He lists the mathematical impossibilities. He explains why the stated strategy cannot produce the stated returns. Madoff uses a tiny, unknown accounting firm to audit a multi-billion-dollar fund, a massive red flag. Madoff refuses online statements, insisting on mailed paper statements. Every detail screams fraud. Harry writes it all down. May 2000. first approach to the SEC, handing them the biggest fraud case. On a silver platter, nothing happens. Harry is confused, but not deterred. Maybe his initial submission wasn't detailed enough. Maybe it got lost in bureaucracy. So he keeps investigating, building more evidence. In 2001, he submits again, provides even more data, more mathematical analysis, more red flags. Again, nothing. Now Harry is getting frustrated and a little paranoid. Madoff is incredibly well connected. He's a former chairman of NASDAQ. He has friends in high places, including, possibly, at the SEC itself. Is the SEC ignoring him, or is someone protecting Madoff? Harry starts to wonder. He begins carrying a gun. He varies his route to work. He tells his family, if anything happens to him, Madoff is responsible. This isn't paranoia for its own sake. Harry has done the math. Madoff's scheme involves billions of dollars. The feeder funds are making fortunes in fees. Some almost certainly know. The returns are fake. People have done very bad things to protect it. Harry genuinely believes he might be killed for what he knows. But he doesn't stop. Between 2000 and 2008, Harry Markopolos submits detailed fraud allegations against Bernie Madoff to the SEC 5 times. 5 times. He doesn't just send a letter saying, I think this guy is a crook. He provides mathematical proof, walks through analysis step by step. He lists specific, verifiable red flags any competent investigator could check. Let me tell you about the 2005 submission, because this one is particularly painful. By 2005, Harry is beyond frustrated. His previous warnings have vanished into the bureaucratic void. So this time he decides to make his case impossible to ignore. He writes a 21-page document with a title that leaves zero room for ambiguity. The world's largest hedge fund is a fraud. Not might be a fraud, period. The document lays out 29 red flags, 29 specific, checkable problems with Madoff's operation. Harry explains the mathematical impossibility of the returns. Madoff's auditor is a 3-person firm. 13x, 18-foot office auditing a $50 billion fund. No one on Wall Street can replicate Madoff's results. Harry submits this to the SEC's Boston office. He has meetings. He explains everything in person. The SEC opens an investigation. And then they close it. Madoff tells them everything's fine. Investigation over. Harry is apoplectic. Asked Madoff if he was running a fraud. When he said no, they believed him, like asking a murder suspect if they committed murder, and closing the case when they deny it. Harry submits again in 2007. Same result. Nothing. Harry is exhausted. He's been fighting this battle for 7 years. The agency designed to catch fraud has done nothing. If you're watching this and getting angry, good. We're about to get to December 2008, when reality finally catches up to Bernie Madoff. December 10th, 2008. The global financial system is in freefall. Lehman Brothers has collapsed. Banks are failing. The stock market has lost 40% of its value. People are panicking, and they're pulling their money out of everything, including Bernie Madoff's fund. For 17 years, Madoff has been running his scheme. For 17 years, more money has come in than gone out. But now, in the chaos of 2008, his clients are demanding $7 billion in withdrawals. Madoff doesn't have it. He never had it. On December 10th, Bernie Madoff calls his 2 sons, Andrew and Mark, into his office. He tells them the truth. The fund is a lie. There is no money. It's all been a fraud. He's been running a Ponzi scheme for decades, and now it's over. His sons call the FBI. The next morning, December 11th, federal agents arrest Bernie Madoff at his Manhattan penthouse. He's charged with securities fraud. Within days, the scale becomes clear. $65 billion. Gone. The largest Ponzi scheme in history. Thousands of victims. Retirees who lost everything. Charities that had to shut down. People who had their life savings with Madoff because they thought he was a sure thing. And somewhere in Boston, Harry Markopolos gets a phone call. He's been waiting for this moment for 8.5 years. 8.5 years of being ignored, of being dismissed as a crank, of wondering if he was crazy for seeing what everyone else couldn't. He wasn't crazy. He was right. About everything. In the aftermath, Harry testifies before Congress. His testimony is scathing. He calls the SEC's failure a systemic breakdown. He details every submission he made, every warning, every opportunity the SEC had to stop this. Congressmen sit in stunned silence. Harry explains he handed them Madoff. I gift-wrapped the largest Ponzi scheme. Somehow, they couldn't be bothered. The SEC is humiliated. Investigators were too intimidated. Bernie Madoff pleads guilty. He dies in federal prison in 2021. His son Mark hangs himself on the second anniversary of his father's arrest. His son Andrew dies of cancer in 2014. The victims spend years trying to recover. A trustee claws back billions from early investors who profited, knowingly or not. Some victims get most of their money back. Others get nothing. Harry Markopolos writes a book. He becomes a fraud investigator. He testifies about other cases. Regulators fail to do their jobs. He becomes a symbol. One person is right. Everyone else refuses to listen. But he's also permanently changed. The paranoia never fully goes away. The anger at the system never fades. He was vindicated, yes. But vindication doesn't undo 8 years of being treated like a conspiracy theorist. So what does the Harry Markopolos story actually tell us? First, the regulators we trust to protect us are often dangerously incompetent. The SEC had every opportunity to stop Madoff. They had the evidence. They had the math. They had a credible expert literally begging them to investigate. And they failed spectacularly for almost a decade. This wasn't just one mistake. This was systemic failure. The SEC was understaffed, undertrained, and intimidated by the very people they were supposed to regulate. Madoff was a big name, a former NASDAQ chairman, a donor to the right causes, and that reputation acted as a shield. The system is designed to catch small-time fraudsters. But when the fraud is big enough, when the fraudster is connected enough, the system breaks down. Second, being right isn't enough. Harry Markopolos had the truth. He had the math. He had everything. And it didn't matter, because the truth means nothing if nobody in power is willing to act. There's a lesson here about whistleblowers. They're ignored, dismissed, sometimes destroyed. Harry was lucky. He wasn't prosecuted. He came out the other side intact. Many whistleblowers aren't so fortunate. Third, trust the math, not the reputation. Madoff's scheme depended on people trusting him. His clients didn't examine the returns. They didn't ask hard questions. They just trusted the brand. Harry didn't trust the brand. He trusted the numbers, and the numbers told him the truth.